Welcome to the Eskrima podcast. My name is Jason and I'm an 89 Eskrimador. It's November 27th, 2023. It's my 50th birthday and I'm halfway through my commute. So this will probably be a short one for you guys. Let me close that. Just wanted to reach out, talk to everyone real quick about perseverance, actually. We look at the training that we do and, you come in, you're excited and you really are into it. Maybe it's for the first 5 weeks. Maybe it's for the first 5 months. Maybe it's for the first 5 years. I don't know. But I really want to talk about that today. But first, I'm reminded by my bosses that I need you guys to like, I need you guys to comment and follow. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, of course. Obviously, I have my online training at inion-eskrima.com, and then, of course, the in-person training, if you guys are going to come and visit, so I truly can see you on the training floor for sure. That will be inion-eskrima.biz. But we got some seminars coming up in 2024. Very excited. The 2024 memorial is going to be real big. Make sure that you get on my newsletter, get involved with that, so that way you can hear about all that and be invited to that, because we're really excited for that this year, or rather, I should say, upcoming year. But anyways, the thing is that when we do our training, we get pretty excited, and it's hard to keep that momentum. Some people have asked me, especially my high school friends, are like, you've been doing this for like 45 plus years. Like, how do you keep doing it? Like, most people that I know haven't been doing anything that long for 10 years, let alone 15, 20, or 30 or more years. And it has to come down to, I think the first thing is daily practice. It's one of the things that I try to push forward with our basic membership, our Steel membership now on the .com site, which I highly recommend. All of my in-person students as well as my seminar students, and then people are just interested in learning more about self-defense and martial arts in general. Definitely take advantage of it. It's very low cost. It's basically a cup of coffee a month in terms of cost for you, if you like the fancy coffees. It's my birthday, so I splurged on a $6 coffee today. It's that daily practice that really gets you. And sometimes people, like, well, my schedule doesn't do this or doesn't do that. I remind my students that, the people that are successful have a reason for being successful. They have a reason to go and train every day, to do things. My dad used to say that, your basics, which is the basic part of your training, should be like brushing your teeth. You should do it twice a day. But that daily practice is really important. And, the people that don't succeed, that don't persevere, they always find reasons not to. I don't feel good. My girlfriend is this and my mom is that, and I got school here and work here. But the successful people, the people that persevere, for those of you who really want that quality in your life, where you have that discipline that gives you that certain self-satisfaction with yourself, that comes with daily practice. And it could be something as simple as, like I tell most of my students, especially the new private lesson students. I got a new one right now. He's really excited, wants to learn how to fight in the ring and fight on the street and things like that. And so what should I do? And I look at all of them and I say, 15 minutes shadow boxing. It's either 3 5-minute rounds with 30 seconds to a minute rest, or 5 3-minute rounds if you're going boxing versus MMA. But just that shadow boxing, there's a study, it's actually pretty cool. There's a study that I read, and the numbers that stuck with me, really resonated with me, was someone who does something an extra 10 minutes a day every day for a year ends up at the end of that year being in the top 10% of all the people that do that activity. So they were talking about it in terms of guitar practice, because I learned how to play guitar from my dad, and I still play guitar now. But and of course I want to get better, and so I struggle with that daily practice, right? But, you know, for you in the martial arts, the nice thing about practice like that, like doing your shadow boxing for, you know, 15 minutes, essentially, a day, it's very easy to find 15 minutes in a day, whether it's, you know, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening, or all 15 minutes in one time, right? It's very easy for us to find that 15 minutes to get up and do a little something, right? I'm going to be starting my 1Ks again, which is the goal is to do 1,000 of something each day. And that's going to take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, depending upon what I'm doing, or 45 minutes, right? So I'll start small. I'll do that daily practice, and I'll get myself there. You know, my student and friend, Matt, he'd been my student for quite some time, a great friend of mine, and he's all about having that discipline and all having that practice. And, you know, he would say to me, he goes, you know, like, sometimes you don't want to train. Don't feel like it, whatever. He goes, but I've never regretted taking the time to train. After the training, he always felt better, always felt good about that decision. So just leave those couple of things there for you guys. You know, you might regret, you know, not training, but you never regret training. Not really, right? You might not want to train, but when you do train, you're always thankful for that. And that's something for us to think about in our training, is how do we find the easy ways to exercise our discipline, to exercise on a regular basis and invest in ourselves. And sometimes it's only in 5-minute increments, but that 5-minute increments, it's like, I was talking to an old friend of mine. I've known him for a little over 20 years, I think now. And he's a former police officer and fireman. And he's retired, and he's, you know, you got to retire as soon as you can, man. You got to retire as soon as you can. He says something really interesting, because it's to be a millionaire these days is relatively easy. He goes, the amount of money that you need to set aside if you start young is very small, relatively speaking. You know, the general adage is $20 a month, you know, if you're in your 20s, right? It could be really just $5 a month at the beginning to begin that discipline. But if we think about that, you know, obviously those of us who are older, we look back and that $20 isn't that much. When you're there, when you're 15, right, that $20 is a lot, but in the long run, it really isn't that much. And in the same sense, that 15 minutes that you can see yourself training in the morning or in the evening, especially for the days that you can't go to regular class, right, is really not that much, right? And, you know, sometimes for us, if we really want to build that enthusiasm and excitement, we have to take the frame of, I get to do this for 15 minutes. I get to do this. You know what? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to work on my front kick. I'm going to work on it for 15 minutes. And I'm going to try it with my front leg. I'm going to try it with my rear leg. I'm going to have my right leg in front, switch it to, I'm going to try it turning left and then turning right. And I'm just going to work on my front kick, right? Whether it's a teep, whether it's a push kick, whether it's kicking a front door in. I'll tell you, in my days as a bounty hunter, I was sitting surveillance. And the way that we would do things is, like, what we're required to do is you gear up. So you got your vest on, you got all your insignias on. So all of mine said agent on them, right? So I'm a bail enforcement agent, essentially, fugitive retrieval agent, whatever you want to call it, right? We're looking for this guy, and I've been looking for the guy. I had an idea where the guy was. I had an idea where his car was, but I could never see his car at the place where he supposedly lived. So I'm sitting surveillance one day and I see him drive up. I'm excited, right? My partner is excited. We're like, there he is. And we run out and the guy sees us, right, as we call his name, because we have to identify ourselves, you know. So-and-so, you know, bail enforcement, you have a warrant for your arrest, etc. And so we're running at this guy, and he runs in this house, and I'm yelling at him, don't you dare go in that house, right? And he's able to get in the front door, and he's able to deadbolt that door. And I run at that door with a front kick and bounce right off that door. Bounce right off that door, end up on my back, right? Like a beetle stuck on its back, because I have I have a armor on, essentially. So you're a little bit less maneuverable, right? And, I have to be aware of, I'm not exactly a cylinder, because I got a gun on one hip and equipment on the other hip and all this other stuff. So eventually get up. We eventually catch the guy, but, practice your front kicks, that way you know better. Really what the issue with that particular front kick is, when you kick in a door, right, provided it doesn't have a metal frame and all that stuff, kicking near the doorknob, provided it's the right kind of door frame and where that deadbolt locks in, will allow you to apply more force to the part that you need to kick in, right? So that doesn't always work, but that's one of the best ways to do it. If it's a metal door, good luck. Metal frame, good luck. But that was where I ran into a very stout, solid wood door, and was not able to muster the force, even though I'm 200 and I think it was about 220 at the time, running full force with about 40 pounds of gear on. And that was not enough mass, apparently, to overcome that deadbolt. But just thinking about practicing my front kick, that's one of my funny memories about that. But, it's the regular practice, really, that brings us forward, right? I remember when I first did my 1Ks, my dad was still around. And the dividends that it paid, I was doing, at the time, just 1,000 strikes a day on each arm. And I would do it with a bolo, I would do it with rattan, I would do it with heavy woods, do it with metal bars, I would hit things or I'd swing in the air, but I would do 1,000 strikes a day, essentially. And develop grip strength and arm and all those other things. But I think over the time, the thing that I gained the most off of that, and it only would take me about 15 minutes to do, was the coordination, my body just getting used to that coordination. Over time, what happens is you do a particular sequence of movements, or a movement, right? Is your body becomes more efficient at doing it. The muscles that are in counter to the motion that you're doing, rotation and whatnot, stop fighting the muscles that are in or with that rotation. This is actually what muscle memory is. People use that term incorrectly. There is no such thing as memory in terms of your muscles, in the sense of that they have, neurons and things like that. That's not actually a thing, right? And so there's no such thing as muscle memory. But what they do is a muscle remembers how to move efficiently, so that it doesn't fight itself. The body doesn't fight itself. So the opposite of that, the guy that did P90X coined, I think he coined the frame, muscle confusion. And that's just basically putting a label on the idea of an inefficient action, where your muscles are fighting each other because they're not coordinated, which is better for fitness, because if you're doing extra work on an action, that means you're burning extra calories and building extra muscle, etc., right? Efficiency versus inefficiency essentially is what muscle memory really is, as opposed to, if I practice this technique 1,000 times, when that punch comes, I'll be able to do it because my muscles remember it. Remember that. That's wrong. I'm trying not to say dumb, but I'm saying it. It's dumb. It's not wrong. It's not how your body works. That's not how your neurology works. But it is the way that your muscles work, in the sense of being efficient, right? So that 15 minutes a day, whether it's practicing your front kick, hopefully not falling over after kicking a door, right? Or just doing shadow boxing. It's that 15 minutes of your body remembering how to do things, right? There are other things that you need to do to be effective, But if you're just working on the instrument, fine-tuning the machine that is your body, right, that 15 minutes every day is going to be mean a world of difference, even 6 months later, if not a year later. And it's easy to do, right? The other thing that I used to do, to keep my interest, right, is I'd pick a technique. Usually part of my morning ritual would be, when I was younger, of course, is I would pick a movement, a technique, a drill, and I would run that over in my head as I got up in the morning. So say it's, say some kind of high block, right? And then from the high block, I'm doing a grab and maybe an arm bar, something simple. I'm putting that in context, like I'm visualizing the movement, feeling it out as I'm making my coffee, making my breakfast, getting dressed, whatever, right? Brushing my teeth, right? And I'm, putting it in context of, if I was in a hallway or in a bathroom stall or getting out of my car, or getting into my car, and, the person's, I'm responding to a right hand attack or a left hand attack, or it's a right hand attack, but there's somebody also, on the other side of me as the opponent. So then how do I pivot and move? And so that mental exercise kept me engaged and interested and got me excited to go to class, because I'm wondering how that's going to work if I get to do that in class. If my dad teaches that in class, how will that apply? And day over day, week over week, month over month, I could see myself, if you can imagine this, getting better. And I saw myself, you can be surprised sometimes. You put that daily practice in, if you can imagine, even if it's just in your head, if not out in your body. You put that daily practice in, and the dividends it pays is amazing. Like just what you're able to do, what you're able to achieve with that regular time. So that's something for you guys to think about. I'm going to be adding a solo practice element, especially specifically designed for this, for the Steel membership. So I hope that you guys take advantage of that. I think it's only like $7 a month, and then you can pay annually. So it's really not that much. And it gives you some guidance in the training, and it makes you a member of the 9 training organization. So you get some discounts and things like that, and exclusive deals when we open up new products that we're going to have available for students and whatnot. So I'm pretty excited about that particular product offering and membership. A lot of my students are doing that now, and it's really helping them out in terms of that. The questions they have, hey, Saru, how do I do this, or how do I do that? I said, oh, it's right here. So they're really appreciative, and it's working out really well. So anyways, it's my birthday. I turned 50. I hope to see you in the training floor this year and be a part of my 50th year in life and my 46th year of training in martial arts. I'll see you on the training floor.